Hello. Uh, so what kind of methods do I use as a transformational business mindset coach for leaders in business, influence, and ministry that align and make sense for you? Okay, so first let's start with a coaching method. The definition. So, coaching methods are structured methods that facilitate personal growth and professional development by helping individuals identify their goals, overcome barriers, and take meaningful action. And specifically, what we tend to focus on is the professional development side. However, just keep in mind that almost every single time it does and will affect your personal development in a big way, and the two always seem to like work together really well, pretty well, and it's sort of like a braid, right? Like when we improve one part, it just naturally will improve other parts. So we improve your mindset, your business will follow. We improve your mindset, your life will follow. And one of the okay, so the origin of everything that we do, the origin that everything, all, my method, like the entire origin of it is to identify, to find and identify the origin of what's holding you back and then solve that. And that can be shown in a variety of ways. It could be psychological, it could be action oriented, it could be who you hire, what you hire, because AI, and what kind of steps it is that you need to take or you feel you need to take in order to accomplish your dreams and goals. Uh, so real quick, as a part of this, as a part of this solving, solving the great question of what is the origin to my problems. um, I myself, I had gone through transformational mindset and healing, and luckily, thank God, I already had in my back pocket an engineering degree. And one of the things that engineering degrees do is that it helps you simplify your problem and target the origin and then solve that. And then as you solve that, you solve other steps. And as you solve the other steps, things just kind of like will fall into place. And I use quite a few analyses and logics and reverse engineering methods from my engineering degree to helping business owners, influencers, and ministers like yourself, and just leaders even, who just want to get to that next level of success. And so what I do is, um, I have a blueprint that is about. On the one hand, I have a blueprint that is pretty. It has about 11 steps, but in particular, what I like to focus on, because as a part of those 11 steps, like each one has gone into specific, like three specific spots to just like make things like really, really easy, right? So it's spiritual grit, abundant mindset, and leading greatly. And with abundant mindset, for whatever reason, that is always like the origin of everything. Like, so, but spiritual grit is the thing that keeps you going. Leading greatly is our ultimate goal in this. And I've talked about abundant mindset, I've talked about it continuously in my writing and my stories, and yet many people don't really understand exactly what abundant mindset is, and it's not what you think. Um, and one of the benefits of having that engineering degree is that then I utilize that to do the specific research that I needed to in order to solve, find the origin and solve my own problems, so that and then as I went, I continued to help others solve their problems, and I kept getting good feedback and things were just going really well. And so, if you're, still listening, then that what I do might help you. A lot of coaches use their methods and use their methodologies, and so a lot of people. I had one coach who who wasn't really personalized, but even though it was one-on-one, he was like teaching me his methods. He was teaching me these things, but it was like I'm just following a step-by-step process. He's not actually like answering my specific questions. And so that's something that like I know a lot of people are gonna like, thinking in the back of their head, well, how is it that you're really gonna help me if it's not personalized? Well, it is personalized, thank goodness. I always try to make sure that it is personalized. Now, even with group coaching, I try to make sure that it's personalized because if there's a pattern going on, and I've after asking, like a questionnaire or having a little survey, and everybody's saying, look, I need to have help on this, this, and this, then absolutely we'll be able to solve that and just address it. And sometimes just a few, what I've often gotten from often I get a feedback of, um, it only took a few minutes of sitting with her to like have this like wow revelation, if you will. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate, not just in my clients but also the gifts and the knowledge and the methodologies that God has blessed me with, and the history that I have of growing up with engineers. I grew up in an engineering family, so I learned a lot like early on how to think critically, logically, how to pull pieces together, how things fit together. Sometimes things fit together in ways that we don't quite understand, and yet there's also things that fit together that might not originally seem like they're the same thing, and yet somehow they're influencing and pulling on each other, like because they're either attracted or repelled, and but it makes a difference. And the same thing with mindset is one of those things where psychology does not really make sense. Psychology, I would now, if you're in engineering or if you've studied engineering, you might understand this, but psychology is a lot like traffic engineering because there's all these patterns. It doesn't always make logical sense, but the flow can make sense. And so it's like, so what part of your brain do you, anyway, like, do you take the logical side or do you take the psychological side? And how do we adjust to ego, and how do we look at pride, and how do we look at beliefs and everything like that? And so these are all things that I've learned from my own mindset transformation. And small transformations can end up being a big transformation, and have such a big impact. And so maybe you might be sitting here and you're asking yourself, well, how does this work for me? I'm in influence, or I'm in business, or why are you saying that all of this could work for business owners or administrators and influencers? How is that possible, Charlotte? Well, the thing is that you're a leader. When you serve greatly, when you serve others greatly, and you care about others, and you care about your community, and maybe you don't have that big ego that says I'm a leader and I take control and whatever. But if you're taking action, you're taking initiative, you care about others, you're a leader. And as a leader, it is it, as leader myself, it is our more responsibility to make sure that we're leading greatly, because when we serve greatly, our community thrives in such big ways. And the more that our community thrives, the more that we thrive as leaders, because it's like it's a win-win. And when you have a coach that knows what it's like to be a leader, understands the difficulties of being a leader, understands the difficulties of how to lead and how to continue to show up in ways that not only build rapport but also build trust and understanding, and are able to communicate that in a fun, diplomatic way, the more that your leadership can then be influenced and multiplied exponentially. And this is really important. It's really important as part of coaching. That this is really also just part of my values. My part of the reason why it is that I do transformational business mindset coaching is not just to like have the credentials or whatever, but or to like have the money, but I mean, I have bills to pay myself too, right? We all have bills to pay. But what it's really all about, my why is serving others greatly so that they can serve others even greater, and so that the goodness of the goodness of God and just the goodness of being good can be multiplied, because influence is not just one little person, right? Like influence and the power of the word, the power of the tone of voice, the tonality, how it is that you speak to people is so incredibly influential, and it helps people. Like it's just as a little tidbit, it is so powerful, the words that you use and the things that you say to people. And big part of leadership is being able to target how it is that you show up as a leader by targeting those things that keep you back or that keep you from really showing up as a leader, and things like beliefs, perceptions, conceptions, psychology, how it is that we show up, what it is that we learn, how well we're able to say it's okay to be imperfect, how all those things, those influence our leadership. And maybe you're having trouble right now with your employees. Maybe they seem to be not dedicated to their jobs, or you're getting really bad customer reviews. These are symptoms of change that might need to happen. And it starts with you. It starts with the leader. Big part of leadership is taking responsibility. Even if even if we say, like, well, they see my employees, they seem great at first, right? But then we have to humble ourselves sometimes and say, what am I doing, right? Or how can I change this? And that's a really big part of method, and it's part of alignment too, because the more that we're able to say, I can make a change, the more that we can say, I can make a difference in my community, in my business, in my ministry, the more that we're able to step up to the plate and say and take responsibility for ourselves as a leader, the more that we're able to influence and grow, not just ourselves, but also our community. Because it's not just about you or me, and it's not just about leadership, because leadership so much of the time is not about uh, the person. It's about the people that they're serving greatly. And that's a big part of leadership, which is why it is that, as a part of being a leadership coach and a transformational business mindset coach at that, is the power of growing and developing and creating unshakable foundations for amazing leaders so that they can step up to the plate even more in ways that they want to, while they are able and willing, and we're gonna work on, if you're ever having those like limiting beliefs of like holding you back, oh, I can't do this, like, we're gonna work on that. That is a big part of what it is that I do, absolutely, because we're not just looking at mindset, we're also looking at strategy, so that one of the biggest difference between a consultant and a coach is mindset. A lot of consultants don't understand how exactly to target mindset issues in a way that is um, really beneficial and formulative, like, and with a good method that helps you get those steps in, spiritual grit, abundant mindset, and leading greatly. And then also, of course, targeting where exactly are you in your process that's holding you back. Um, so maybe you might have right now, as you're listening, any kind of like internal beliefs. Most people have the internal belief of, I'm not enough, I don't deserve this, or like it's not perfect, or it's not the perfect time, or the perfect situation, right? Like, if you're here right now, like listening, you're probably exactly where it is that you need to be, because maybe something that I've said like resonates with you. Maybe you are thinking about starting coaching. Maybe you're thinking about upping your leadership, and maybe something that I said just like helps you even just understand, oh, I can do this, or oh, I can improve, or oh, I understand more about where I am as a leader and what it is that I'm really meant to do. And maybe it might even just like spark something in your mind of like, oh, this is something that I can improve on, or that I can set my sights to. And whether or not you decide to go with me or not, or somebody else, um, I just hope that you find this beneficial, because no matter what happens, being a great leader nonetheless is going to influence and impact your people and your employees and your community and your clients and your followers and your flock. And showing up as a leader is incredibly important. And as a business owner, a influencer, and a leader, and if ever you're having those doubts, those thoughts of I'm not good enough or I don't deserve this, trust me, I've had those before as well. And one of the things that helps me know that I'm the right fit for you is the fact that I continue to have struggle, because life is struggle, but the difference is overcoming that. Like right now, I didn't feel like turning on the record button, just like I didn't feel like showing up to class on occasion, but I did it. I didn't do it because I felt like it. I did it because there was something greater that was compelling me towards it. And I understood that. And the more that you understand what compels you and what compels others, the more that you're able to show up, the more that you're able to show up greatly, the more that you're able to improve your leadership, and the more that you're able to influence and change other people's lives, and in just absolutely amazing ways. I highly recommend um my coaching, because I've had a lot of people tell me that, like, wow, Coach Charlotte, I'm so thankful for you, because you've changed not only my business, but you've changed my life. And I'm just really excited to be able to work one-on-one, with influencers and ministers, because for so long I've worked just with business owners, but because of the work that I've done and the things that I've talked about, influencers and ministers have been attracted to me, and so then I'm like, hey, I want to work with you too, right? And so if you're listening to this today and you're like, man, I really want to work with Charlotte, there's gonna be some buttons below, and we can, like, continue our conversation. Um, and I'm pretty sure there might be an event, but definitely there's a clarity session that you can sign up for. I just get on my calendar right away. Um, and let's see. So maybe right now, you're sitting at your computer and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have time for this." Well, guess what? You are actually even more in alignment, because if you don't have time for this, that means that you're busy, and it's time to be able to take back your time. It's time to be able to take more control over your time to be able to, like, to to get things back and still be able to have that great influence and great power and great responsibility. Because guess what? As you grow, you don't have to do everything. That's another little, like, tidbit, okay? Like another little key, right? A little, like, woo, right? But this is honest. Um, I've had my client, I've been teaching him how, like, he knows everything. He knows how the business runs, and he has the influence and the power and whatever, but I've been helping him slowly go through those steps and go through those the strategy and mindset steps in order to take back his time. And it's really working out for him quite well. He's very satisfied, and he'll continue to have success the more that we work together. Um, and so You know, as a business owner, as an influencer, as a minister, you're always going to have someone saying that you can't do it or you're not good enough. Like, and that's where some of the stuff comes from, right? Like sometimes it's in our own mind and sometimes it's outside of us, right? Like there's the oh well, they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't do very very good, or like they're not studying their Bible appropriately. Like, okay, hold on, take a step back. First of all, the biggest thing to recognize in this case is most people speak from a place of pride and ego, not from truth. Truth requires courage. Truth requires courage. Most people speak from a place of ego and pride, not truth. So when you hear, you know, when you ask, so, say you ask for like creative criticism, right? And instead you're met with, oh, you're not good enough, you're not professional enough, you're not doing that, blah, 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 blah. Again, most people are speaking from ego. And the other thing too is like, consider this. When they are speaking from ego, there's things like jealousy, there's things like pride, there's things like envy, there's things like, well, you're not doing good enough, or you're not that, da 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 da, because they are speaking from their own limiting beliefs, their own limiting perspectives. And guess what? You do not have to take that in. You don't have to take that in. That that is not your cross to bear. People, okay, and I'll tell you a little story about this too. Like, cause I've been before a transformational mindset and before I went through like this huge journey that like absolutely transformed my mindset, my life, and my business. I've worked from that place. I've let ego take over. I've let pride take over. And guess what? What it ended up doing was those few times where I was um, not saying things that I should have, right? Because I didn't feel good about myself. And when people don't feel good about themselves, they're wanting other people to also not feel good about themselves, because if they don't feel like they're enough, they want to make you feel like you're not enough. There's this concept called hurting people hurt, as in hurting people hurt others. And so as a leader, you're as a leader, and the more that you grow, the more that you become influential, the more success that you have, the more success that you carry, there's going to be people out there who are threatened by your success, because they're like, oh, well, they use their whatever to like become successful. I mean, the bottom line is that if you use good, sensible, you used your energy wisely, the best that you could, and you just kept going, you step by step, right? And they're still envious, and they're still angry, or they're angry that you had success and they don't, because they don't have that abundant mindset, because abundant mindset says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how successful you are. They could also have success. It doesn't matter how much money you make. They can also make money. Or the concept. It's like there's these like there's these concepts around abundant mindset, and I can't really get too much into it. So, but if you are interested in my coaching and in getting into these like key little details of how do we take action in a way that is productive and moral, and it helps our business explode and have success the way that we define it, then absolutely I'd love to work with you. um and there's some buttons down below underneath this video. Just go ahead and click on them, and I only have so much time, I only have so many clients that I can take on at one time. And but the benefits are great. If the alignment feels right, and if the values align, and if you're wanting to if you have goals and dreams that you're wanting to initiate, uh and you're wanting to understand your purpose more and whatever, we would be a great fit, and I'd love to work with you. So So I'm a transformational business mindset coach, and I work specifically with leaders. These are business owners, influencers, and ministers. In terms of influencers, these could be YouTubers, musicians, and actors. Uh, and they're just, looking for they're especially when, okay, in terms of actors, like there's this thing that, like, so not just actors, but a lot of people do this. A lot of people do this in leadership, and I have it on like all my profiles, and that's with me with the mask, right? And it's like the idea of it, taking the mask off, right? Taking the mask off and embracing authenticity. And this is also a big part of the method. I mean, it's I say it all, like I'm saying all these little like tiny things, but again, the origin of all of this is targeting what is holding you back and then solving that. And it's there's these nuances because taking off that mask is easier said than done, right? Like I could say, take off the mask, or like buy a house or buy a car, like get a job, right? Like all of those, or get a new client. All of those are really, really easy to say and a lot harder to do. And so, or like, how about you just initiate your dreams? Like, okay. Lord have mercy. Please, I am never gonna, I hope to God, I pray and I hope that I'll never just like tell you that, because that is not good coaching. It's, we could say just do it all day, but if you have mindset blocks, just do it is not enough. Like straight up. Just do it is not enough. Especially like I've had clients where they want to get it done and they don't know where to start. They want to get this thing off the ground, but they don't know who to go to. They have this idea, but they don't know how to take action on it. They don't know who to talk to. And I'm here, like I'm not only a resource, but I'm strategic, and I have my methods, and I have my ways, and I have the key thing of, it's like the one thing. If I were really to say the method is one thing, it would be targeting what is holding you back and then solving that. Um, and again, I'm like, try not to say and then like when I think of then I say So if you really like what you've seen here, if you say, oh man, Charlotte, I really want to work with you, then I would love to work with you too. I'm a transformational business mindset coach. And let's see, I help business owners, influencers, and ministers like yourself who are restless and are in need of something new, or you want an improvement, or you need to get your goals and dreams off the ground. I can absolutely help you with that. And just go ahead and click one of the links below. Either you'll on my website, you'll either be you'll either go to the next page where you um, learn more about the people who I've helped, or if you're on YouTube, you can also visit my website. And there's also underneath on the website, there's going to be a button that says either events, or it's going to bring you to the clarity session. And so at the clarity session, this really gives you an opportunity to understand more about where you are, where you want to go, and exactly what is holding you back. And so I'd love to speak with you, and go ahead and click on the blue button, which is the ones for events. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Bye.